And about that time, the decision was made, instead of doing so much of it in Europe, they wanted it to be an American effort. So we started building these big 427 cubic inch engines, which necessitated a 3,500-pound automobile, which necessitated building brakes that you've ordinarily used on a locomotive, and they weren't even sufficient. So it was just one nightmare after the other. The car should have weighed 1,000 pounds less than it did. To win Le Mans, you have to have drivers that are compatible with each other. You know, Le Mans is not a race, it's more like Indianapolis to me, it's a spectacle. We had drivers the first year that we won Le Mans, like Mark Donahue, Denny Hume, Bruce McLaren, Ken Miles, who wanted to win the race and who had enough sense to drive respectfully within the limits of the car. And we won 1, 2, 3. We made a little more sense out of it. Phil Remington came up with discs that could be removed in 20 seconds and replaced, so that our brake problem, although it never went away, we could change the whole braking system in a matter of 20 seconds on pit stops. So the kinetic energy absorption wasn't near as much of a problem as it had been before that. And darned if Ford then didn't turn around and give me the Indianapolis drivers that year. Amongst two of them, Foyt had just won Indianapolis. Well, taking Foyt to Le Mans was, in my opinion, about as stupid a thing as you could do at that particular point in his career. And I knew that Gurney was a good, fast driver that could be counted on if you talked to him and reasoned with him and told him what the plan was. He would live within this plan. So we put him and Foyt together, and everybody hee-hawed and figured they'd go about 3 laps. But God bless Dan Gurney, that whole week at Le Mans, he drove about 10 or 15 seconds underneath what he could have been doing, and never told Foyt how fast he could go. Told Foyt he knew, he went out and he figured out what Foyt could drive and probably finish the car. And that is what he did, and drove that way during the race, helped Foyt out, was a tremendous influence, and to me it's the smartest piece of driving, thinking of his co-driver, that I've probably ever seen.